more people, in addition to the 5 from 2018, and on the 2 main military-backed companies. Finally, that was done, and that's good. What we have said is that we're not satisfied that will do the job that we all want done, and we've also said that we don't know how it's going to work in practice. So what we would like the government to do is to accept advice from a group that we will help form, that will review the way these sanctions are implemented and applied, and look at what might be done to improve that later. So what you're talking about today is very important for that. We need to know exactly how these sanctions function and what they actually do. And we would like the Australian government to sit with the other governments which have imposed sanctions, but that principally, for real reasons, realistic reasons, means the European Union and the United States. Sit with them and work out what's being done by all of them, where the gaps are, who needs to do what to fill those gaps, and make sure the sanctions do the job properly on the regime. And I mean the regime, I don't mean on Myanmar, because the other thing we say is that sanctions are very good and important, but they must not affect the supply of humanitarian support to the people of Myanmar at the community level and through the country. It's really important now that we look in the scale of the disaster that we're all confronting now in Myanmar, at what needs to be done to promote the needs of the people themselves without military interference, and to support that as part of the walk that we all have to take towards democracy in Myanmar. So thank you very much for being here. We will listen very carefully to what you say and what the speakers say. We will take that into our own thinking as we try to work with the Australian government in the future. For the Australian government, we now have another election promise has been fulfilled, and that's the appointment of a new ambassador for human rights in the Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade. That person is a woman called Bronte Mills, a name that some of you might remember because she was the ambassador to Myanmar until about 5 years ago. And after that she went off to other postings. She's very skilled, she's good for the human rights campaign, and she understands Myanmar. And that for me is also very important, because the big problem that I think we all have is that there are so many disasters and conflicts around the world that it's easy for governments and populations to forget about Myanmar. Even though for us, it's in our minds and in our news every day. But for a lot of other people in Australia, it's a disaster that's gone. It's past its headline date. We've got to make sure that does not happen, and that Australia stands resolutely behind the march for democracy in Myanmar. So thank you very much for having me here. Thank you for being here yourselves, and I look forward to listening to what you have to say.